Hey guys, Rick here from the Fultz Bailey Model Railroad. Just coming back at you with another kit. I found this one online. It's actually discontinued, so I had to grab this one off of eBay. It's a kit that I kind of liked just the way it is. I don't think I'm going to be changing much to it, except the name. So let me get you over the workbench and we'll take a look at what we got. Come on. All right, so this kit is the DPM Stone Bakery. I believe Woodland Scenics now sells this as a cobbler shop. Cobbler as in like a boot or a shoe repair. But they only sell it as a complete kit. This one is all parts. It's very detailed. I love this, I don't know what you call it, this outcropping here. I think it's awesome. I don't have that on any other building or any other kit. Take a look at the backside of this. It's got a picture here of what the all the accessories look like. And there's a lot of stuff here that I haven't seen before, so I can't wait to get in and paint those. As you can see, here's all the parts and all the accessories. Let's get this thing open and see what it looks like. All right, so this kit's got a couple bags to it. There's part of a fire escape there. There's another fire escape there, a ladder, some electrical equipment. This, I believe, is the pipe work, the gutter work on the back. Here it looks like we've got some chimneys and some air conditioning units, and then the sign that goes on the front. First time I've ever seen this. They packaged each side individually in plastic, which is kind of cool. A lot of these sides have grooves on them, and a lot of these have, I don't know what you would call these. It almost looks like this is a snap together kit. I was looking at, see, like these here, these have grooves that are indented to where like the wall would go into that groove. Kind of makes it easier to build. To see, the roof has it too, where the roof would go. And then this one actually has a plastic roof instead of using like a piece of styrene or something. So this is definitely going to be an interesting build. And what comes in the paperwork? Oh, this is the fun part. Of course, you have your instruction sheet. You got some really cool decals. I believe these are scratch on or rub on decals. Really, really cool. They do give you the acetate. This is actually thicker than what you usually get. So you got that clear window there. These here are the room separators or the floor separators in case you plan on lighting your building. Now, this is pretty neat. I haven't seen this in any other DPM kits either. They give you the window cutouts, but in the cutout, they actually have, like, so these are shades. But they've actually put on here, like this one here is for the front bay window. So it tells you what it is. And then you're supposed to cut out that square and then glue that directly onto the front where the windows go. So everything is already pre-cut for you. All you have to do is follow the lines. Now, I just want to double check. This thing says circa 2009. So it's a newer kit. So I'm wondering if this is the way that Woodland Scenics, I'm not sure when Woodland Scenics purchased DPM. I wonder if this is something they did in the transition. This kit is like nothing that I've ever built before. There's so many changes to it. Not very sure if I like it yet or not, but we'll see. But yeah, this one's going to be different. So let me get some paint and primer on here, and I'll get back to you with an update. All right, before we get to paint and primer, I had to try this. Let's go back to the workbench. You're not going to believe this. All right, so here's the building, right? But this isn't glued together. It's held together by all those grooves and those little clips. Take a look at this, right? So the front just kind of sits there. There's nothing holding that on, right? The roof sits in between those grooves. So you kind of slide that out, right? Now, the walls are held up by these clips at the bottom. All you do is snap that out and snap that out. I had the building together in less than 30 seconds, and all I had to do was glue it up. I don't know. Are they trying to make it easy for us? I've never seen anything like this. I'm dumbfounded. It's so easy. I can put the whole building together and glue it within 2 minutes. If it wasn't for all the accessories, this build would be done in a day. I don't know. I don't know. Paint and primer. All right, the paint's on. Not exactly happy with it, but let's go over here, take a look. All right, so as I mentioned before, I'm sticking close to what they've got here um, on the box. So you could you could see it's a red brick building. They did some um, the color that I found that closely matched this was a warm gray. And then there's some other light colors, like you can see here in the door is a lighter color. I actually didn't get a chance to. I just saw that. I didn't. I got to paint the two little dot things there. Um, but they did that same color with these two windows, and then there's some trim work done under here with that color also. So I tried to mimic that as well. There's also a little bit of that detail right over here with that. And then I noticed they got these lines here done in the front, and I tried to mimic that also. I finally got it, but I had to do a weird technique. What I did was originally I tried to take a toothpick and put paint on it and try and get it in them real small grooves. That didn't work at all. So then when I finally found it, I even tried with a fine paintbrush, and that was just getting mess everywhere. But it just so happens that that mess actually turned out to be the best thing. So what I did is I just slopped paint on there and filled up those cavities, and then just got a paper towel and wiped off the excess, and bada bing, bada boom, I got lines. So that's how they're not perfect, but none of this is really perfect, and that's what's I think bothering me the most. What I tried to do originally, or with this build, I wanted to do a lot more airbrushing, and I get some of that done. Not a lot of it. Um, I airbrushed the base primer coat gray on the entire building, and then I came back and I um I spray painted the windows first. That was a mistake. I should have stuck with, if you saw the process that I did on Ray's building with the windows, stick with that. Windows should be done last. But the problem I ran into was I didn't want to take the time and mask everything off. That's a pain in the button with these small details. It's a huge, I'm not gonna say it's a waste of time, but it's a huge amount of time that's taken. Putting the red brick on first should have been the best option. But then when you're picking out your colors and you're putting a lighter color on top of red, it's really hard to cover that. Not only is it hard to cover that, but because there's a red undertone, it's going to change the color of the paint that you're putting on it. So what I thought was I painted the building gray and then I painted the windows. Then when I came back and I painted the brick, I tried to cover the windows, and that didn't work out so well. There were all these fine details and all these crevices that got covered up, and I had to go back and repaint by hand. Um, so in hindsight, the next time I'm just going to do it the other way. Um, so this has it's got the brick paint is the base coat, and then I went over it. I got my sponge and I did some dabbles of like 3 different color reds. And then in some spots, I just gave it like a black wash to make it a little dirty. Still have to weather it up with my powders, but I wanted to show you the paint. The door here on the back, I actually, I like, I painted this originally a dark yellow ochre, um, but it came out like it was almost this color, kind of. And so then I went over and I got my fine brush and I just made these little black lines trying to make it look like wood, like a wooden door. Um, and then after I got that effect, I came back over it with a lighter or a darker yellow, but I did a thin wash on it. And I put that on there, and that's the way it came out. I wish it would have been more of a brown color, but hey, I'll take it. I still got to paint the door back here. That's going to be a brown color. Still have to put the glazing in for the window, and then of course there's a ton of accessories that have to go on the back. Air conditioning units for the windows, and then there's a sign on the front, which of course I'm going to customize and rename. So that's still to come up. So hang tight, stick in there. Let's get to the accessories, and we'll be back. All right, gang. The windows are in, the accessories have been painted and applied, and most important, the sign is on. Let's go find out whose building this is. All right, so here's the back. We got a whole bunch of stuff going on here. There's a cool little downspout that kind of makes its way around the building. There are a bunch of air conditioners. There are 4 in total that they gave you with this kit. You could see there's a fire escape here. Got the electrical box put in. Over here, you can see there's some. This decal came with the kit. This one I put on myself. Over on this side, again, this decal came with the kit. I didn't do much. I did some weathering up top and on the sides. I didn't do it on the front. But let's take a look. Do we know anyone who's a baker? Let's find out. This is Sat's Bakery. Yes, this is my homage to Boxcar Jerry Satarelli, who I don't know if you know, but when in his younger years, he worked at a bakery. So I figured who better to give the building to. Little weathering done up top, some weathering done within the brick, but not too much. As you can see, the window shades are in. They came with the kit, as well as these scratch-on, rub-on decals. Come on, focus. For some cakes, some wanted signs. There's a for rent sign in there. Come on. There you go. So they all came with. And this thing here, the sign itself, I made myself. There's just a small strip of black styrene that's attached to the wall. The sign itself is another piece of black styrene that I cut out in that shape. The actual sign I just made on canva.com started out with a piece of bread and then put a green background behind it and then put a yellow background behind that just outside of the other rim. And then there's all kinds of fonts that you can play with and manipulate to do whatever you want. And then just printed that out real small, stuck a couple pieces of styrene, just some regular styrene rod, and painted them black, and that's it. Pretty cool sign. So yeah, there's this one's definitely going to go on the layout. I'm thinking about putting this either across the street or maybe even right next to Tina's Tart Shop, and see if those guys can have some friendly competition. All right, gang. So there's another build down on the Foltz Bailey Model Railroad. Now, if you guys have tuned in before, you kind of have the idea now that I'm actually taking down the layout and we're going to rebuild a new one. So everything is in the process of actually being demolished. The track is already up. We're trying to take apart the framework. Got to find all those little screws that we put in. But I had this already on the workbench, so I wanted to just get completed. It's been sitting here for about a month. So I just got the weathering done and the sign put on, and now we're all finished. So my schedule's going to get a little weird with not having the layout over there. I really don't want to go and complete any more buildings for the shelf because that's where they're sitting right now. So I'm not sure what I'm going to be uploading next, but stay tuned. Who knows? Something's going to come. Catch y'all later. Hey guys, right over here is a playlist for all my other DPM and other kit builds. Right down there in the corner is another playlist from all the tipsters, from the Ricksters. And of course, right below, there's that subscribe button. Thumbs up, See ya.